Listening to Jersey Central with Bert Barron on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC. Call Jersey Central at 732-545-9282. Toll free at 888-545-9282. Watch Jersey Central live online at WCTCAM.com or listen on your smartphone with the iHeartRadio or TuneIn apps. Connect with WCTC on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube by searching 1450 WCTC. And now, back to Jersey's Morning Show. Jersey Central with Bert Barron.
7:37. Welcome back to Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. It is Bert Barron inside the Forge Jewelers Studios today. Contest coming up just a little bit sometime between now and 8 o'clock. Give you a chance to win a $20 pack of New Jersey Instant Lottery tickets and a pair of tickets for free to go to the Garden State Cat Club Cat Expo. That's coming to the Garden State Exhibit Center in Somerset this weekend. All right, we'll give away both prizes. One winner coming up very soon. Let's get to the Raritan Bay Medical Center Jersey Newsmaker hotline and welcome in author who is with us here today, Steve Dinan. He's got a brand new book called Sacred America, Sacred World. And one of the reviews of this book said if the Founding Fathers could have written a book about the United States in contemporary times, this would be it. So let's find out some more about the new book by Steve Dinan. Steve, welcome to WCTC this morning. How are you?
Thanks so much for having me. I'm great, Bert.
No pressure at all with a review like that says if the Founding Fathers could have written a book about the United States, this would be it. No pressure about your new book, Sacred America, Sacred World, huh?
Yeah, that's the problem with getting these reviews, and you have to try to live up to them.
Exactly. Now, the book mentions something, uses a pretty interesting term there. Is it transpartisanship? What exactly is that all about?
Yeah, transpartisanship is kind of a growing movement that really says that we're more than our partisan identities, that we're grounded. It reminds us that we're grounded in being Americans first and foremost, and that whatever labels we have, whether it's Republicans or Democrats or Libertarians or Greens, that first and foremost we need to remember that we're one people and that we're united, and that when we engage with each other around political subjects, that we're actually respecting that those differences are actually contributing to the political richness here, rather than just trying to seek and destroy and the kind of bitter partisanship we've seen, which is something our founding fathers warned against.
Yeah, and being such divided, whether it's along political lines, racial lines, religious barriers, or whatever, Steve, when you look at it from the rest of the world's perspective on us, are we weaker, the fact that we disagree on so many things, or is it healthy to just have different points of views on the world around us?
Well, I think it's totally healthy to have different points of view on the world around us, but when we stop respecting and honoring other viewpoints, that's when the creativity gets out of the system. I mean, really, part of the reason we're such an innovative, forward-looking country is because we have so many different cultural streams and ideas and religions, and we're a melting pot of world ideas and perspectives. But when we sort of retreat into our little silos and enclaves, and we start just taking sniping pot shots at people that don't think like us, that's when differences and diversity actually stop being creative and stop being innovative. So we have the whole thing with the United States is we have to live up to our motto, which is e pluribus unum, out of many one. And so if we forget that oneness, if we forget the unity, and all we're doing is sniping about differences, we actually betray the deeper mission of our country. And it kind of, I would think, kind of weakens our position on a lot of things, the fact that we're so divided on so many things. Steve, is that fair to say too? Yeah, I completely see that. I think one of the great things about having to think about a particular issue from multiple perspectives is that you're going to strengthen the solutions you come up with. So if you just have a progressive solution, it's not going to be as strong as if you have a progressive solution that's had to work out the differences with conservatives, because ultimately that's bringing more people into it. You're including more people and perspectives, and you're going to end up with a better result. Yes, our guest this morning is author Steve Dinan, and when I say brand new book called Sacred America and Sacred World, I mean brand new book. It is available starting today. Talks about why America is being pulled apart. Is it too late to repair the damage, and how we can get our great nation back on track? And it is an absolutely must-read, regardless of your religious views, your political views. You will take away something from this book, and you'll see what it will take to make our country great once again, and so many things. Now, the Shift Network that you are the founder of, Steve, talk about what that's all about. Is it about bringing people together? Is it world perspectives and views? What's the Shift Network about? Well, first is really building from this recognition that we have to evolve ourselves and our society at the same time. And so with the Shift Network, we're featuring a lot of the best teachers and practices and trainings that help us grow into our full potential, but also have an impact on our society. So we have programs that are all about our personal spiritual growth, but we also have things like the Peace Ambassador training, like how do we become better peace builders in our community, or the Enlightened Business training, where we teach people how to do conscious business in a different way. So it's really about a kind of a holistic perspective about how do we manifest our full potential, and how do we help our world do so too.
What is the 800-pound gorilla in the room right now for the United States of America, Steve? What is the one glaring thing that, you know what, we can't keep running and hiding from this? We have to address it. What are those couple of top topics there?
Well, campaign finance reform, we've got to get the money out of the level of money out of politics that is there, because that's the great corrupter of the fabric of our democracy right now. Because we need people making decisions with real wisdom and with thinking about the needs of the larger whole. And so when you've got all the special interests and lobbyists and the sheer pressure of trying to raise enough money to run for office, average congressperson, I think, now spends about 4 hours a day just on fundraising. That is something that our founding fathers would have absolutely seen as totally as terrible for our democracy, and that we need to address that. That's the 800-pound gorilla. And I would say secondarily is just our political culture, that when we forget that we're first and foremost Americans, and we're just warring with each other over politics, that's ultimately weakening us rather than strengthening us.
You can get some more information on Steve Dinan and the Shift Network. You can visit the website sacredamerica.net. I'm going to put a link up on our Facebook fan page. You can get all the information. And again, the brand new book is available starting today. You can get all the details on that there as well. Again, the book is called Sacred America, Sacred World. Every 4 years, I hear it, Steve, that this is the most important election in your lifetime. Every 4 years, I get that kind of presented to me. How important is this November? Is this some sort of tipping point that we're facing?
Well, I do think we're at a tipping point as a culture of whether we really choose to go to the next level, and as a unified people. And it goes beyond just who we're electing. And I'm not going to go on about who I think we ought to elect here, but I think we have to remember that in the process of coming to a decision, so we don't want to leave people traumatized and wounded and bitter with each other. And so I've been talking with friends about we may need a day of reconciliation, like 10 days after the election, where we actually say, let's get Republicans and Democrats together, really sort of clear out some of what happened in the election, get citizens together at all levels. That we need to clear this, because it's been escalating year over year. In 1960, they did a study with parents and asked them if they would be upset or concerned if their child were to marry somebody of the opposite political party, and only 5% said yes. 2010, that number had gone up to close to 50%, and I think it's actually probably higher today. So it's like we're turning into two Americas, of red America, blue America, and that is really problematic. So even more important than who's elected is like how we do elections, so we stop the level of divisiveness, and ultimately we're starting to get to the level of real violence, which is not at all who we are as a country. We're made of nobler stuff.
It's hard to believe that 1 out of every 2 times a young lady comes home after a first date with a boy and the parents say, how'd your date go, and what's his party?
What's his party?
It's unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, Steve Dinan, congratulations on the new book, and good luck with everything going forward. Some real eye-opening information in the book, and we appreciate your time this morning here on WCTC. All right?
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Bert.
All right. You're very welcome. All right. Steve Dinan, my guest on the